It's like indisputable to me that Kittanning is getting better. We have data from last year and we have all of this evidence that's happening around us right now. That part for me, that's already like known fact. But the more interesting question to me at this point in time is why? Why is it getting better?
Ready to go do chores? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, let's go. Need the stick to do chores, I guess? Yeah. Alrighty. I don't think the stick will be super helpful, but, you know, who knows? Got a trap set out here. We actually had a bit of a raccoon problem over the past week. We lost 5 chickens and a little duck. You guys probably didn't even know we got ducks yet. But, yeah, it was a sad day. But we caught 2 raccoons, and this is the first morning now in 3 days that we haven't had one in the trap. So, hopefully there were just 2 of them. I don't know, though. These chickens are extremely healthy. They have completed their journey through the apple trees. They will now be like traveling in a straight line all the way back to the garage. They are 1 week from butchering day, so it's a little bittersweet. We actually installed the deer cam just to see if we could figure out what we had and then set up the trap. One of the raccoons was like medium size, I would say, and then the other one was an absolute monster. I had trouble lifting the cage, it was so big. Just checked the trail cam for today. There is definitely one more raccoon at least, so chicken's got to stay in for one more day. We did order energizers for our fences. We've never needed them in 3 years, but yeah, this has been not a good situation. Hopefully they'll be here by the end of the week, and that will obviously alleviate the problem. Abby's gonna pick salad. The other problem that we've had is with deer in the garden. The garden has done just extraordinarily well, but the deer have begun to just traipse around in here. 2 days ago we came in, this whole section was tore up. They had got caught in it and like pulled the whole fence down. And then yesterday morning when we got up, this whole section of fence was tore up. And pretty much every morning come out here and there's deer tracks everywhere. So we have an energizer coming for the garden as well. The good news is all of our crop beds are doing really well. You can see the zucchini coming in strong now. Greens everywhere. The potato plants, some of them are starting to die back, so we should be able to harvest potatoes coming up. Onions all through, and then greens all on that side as well amidst the potatoes. Cucumbers are a little slow, but hopefully we'll have one of those soon too. The good news is, the last 2 days we've been able to finish these last 2 garden beds. That will mean basically our entire garden is full, which we've never really had happen before. So hopefully we'll have now succession harvests until fall. Got another helper today? You guys want to start picking the lettuce? These chickens have so far been immune to the raccoons, so they can come out. And we do have one lady here who's been broody for 2 days so far. So if she continues to sit on eggs, we'll probably get more babies and put her in the actual brooder and see how she does raising chicks. This will be her 3rd year, I believe, raising chicks if we can get her to keep going. You can see all of our beautiful spinach has bolted, making seeds now. But it's okay, we got lots and lots of lettuce. We actually have some more spinach popping up down here already. And then on this side, oh my goodness, these are all rows of lettuce mixes. We're gonna have greens coming out our ears for a long, long time.
Does it like cold water or hot?
Good job, kiddo. Thank you so much. Just a small harvest. How's it going, everybody? Figured we'd start off the day today. We gotta check on our bounty house here. It's looking really good. I'm not sure if you guys remember what this house looked like last week. So it's never quite perfect on a project like this because it's so big. You know, it takes more than one go. So when you clear out a lot of brush, obviously some of that good stuff is going to need to regrow back now. And then a lot of the vines, when you cut them, it takes some time for them to die and fall off. But some of the biggest transformation here is on the side. Look how nice that looks with just the underbrush. We even got the vines cut off in the back here, so now those can die and they'll fall off eventually too. Huge shout out to Judy, Kevin, and Michelle. They went and tackled that over a couple different days, and so I think they did a really nice job. And you know, it's things like that that make a huge difference in the community. It's like those little things that add up to really big change over the course of a summer. Now, the yard improvements are short-term progress for sure, but then we combine that with Summer of Serve, and we're doing, you know, more medium-term projects. And so we have some awnings here that we did a couple weeks ago. You guys might remember those. If you haven't seen the videos on these like smaller Summer of Serve projects, make sure to go check them out. So just this month, we've touched on 4 different houses in the borough. 2 of those projects are completed. 2 of them are about halfway done. And then we're also working on revitalizing a property that we purchased in January. So total of 5 different properties are being affected by Summer of Serve. That's in addition to all the different yards that we've done, both through Summer of Serve and through the Bounty program. And then you also have Habitat for Humanity still doing work around town, and other great local organizations as well. Now, those things are not the most exciting thing, as exciting as those things are, because any kind of improvement in town is something that I love to see. But here's what excites me the most. I'm here on Orr Avenue, and when I look at different houses here, we have one down at the end. I saw the porch was redone this year. They've done a lot of work on the outside of the house. This one right across the street has turned out really beautiful. This porch was in need of a paint job, and now it's completely done. They even painted the curb here. They're working on landscaping, all kinds of stuff going on. I talked to the owner of that place, and he's continuing to work on it. He's now doing trim on the windows, all those kinds of things. We talked to him last year about doing the porch with him, and he agreed, but we just didn't get to it. And lo and behold, here he is now doing it all himself, and doing a wonderful job, might I say. Now here's another great example. New siding, new roof on the whole house. Looks like new windows as well. Now if you look closely, this is actually a really unique house now. This, I'm fairly certain, is actually like roofing metal that they use as siding on the house. Now if you'd have told me you were gonna side your house with roofing metal, I would have thought that it wasn't gonna look very good, but I think this house just looks incredible. Someone invested some serious dollars to make this house look pretty much brand new on the outside. It's literally like a quart of white paint on the front porch away from being brand new all the way around. And that, my friends, is not even my favorite. There's one even better. Now, if you're familiar with Kittanning, there's this intersection, Union Avenue and Woodward Avenue, where it's a pretty busy intersection, and there's this really big house over here that for years the paint's just been chipping off, and it's just gradually kind of been deteriorating on the outside. I knocked on the door a couple of times in the past, but never got an answer. I didn't know who owned it. I didn't know anything about it. I just thought it had a lot of potential, and honestly, it was such a big job, I had no idea how we'd even help. But I just wanted to know who owned it and see if there was some kind of need or, you know, what was going on. Well, they recently started redoing this house, and man, it is looking beautiful. And it's like from top to bottom. There's a new roof on it. I love the color scheme of the house. I love that they kept all the original woodwork. It's just, it's gonna be a thing of beauty when they're done. I pass this house probably 700 times a year. Every day when I go to work and go home, every time I go to church and go home, sometimes multiple times per day if I'm driving around Wick City. And so it's like, I think about this place a lot, and it is so great to see it improving the way that it is.
So, I don't know, it's like indisputable to me that Kittanning is getting better. We have data from last year, and we have all of this evidence that's happening around us right now in 2020 that things are still continuing to improve. And so that part for me, that's already like known fact. But the more interesting question to me at this point in time is why? Why is it getting better? So I think there might be like a few different reasons that this could be happening, and maybe if you have some theories, I'd love to hear them in the comments, or if you agree with one of my possible conclusions, I'd love to know that as well. So make sure that you leave a comment about that. But number one, the economy, locally here and nationally over the last several years has been generally improving. Obviously, coronavirus put a big stop to that for many people. But over time, maybe people have been building up this snowball of savings to be able to continue to fix up houses. I don't know, maybe. That one is less likely for me. Maybe the most likely one for me is the stimulus. I think a lot of people around here were still working through the entire pandemic, and so the stimulus turned out to be truly extra money. And the extraordinarily generous unemployment benefits did not hurt either. So maybe people had a few extra $1,000 and they're deciding, well, maybe now's the time to do that painting project or to make that addition or to fix that porch. I don't know. That is probably the most likely conclusion for me, but it's not the one that I hope is actually true. A couple of years ago, when we started this fight against blight, when we started to begin to talk about how to improve the residential housing stock in Kittanning, I said that it's very difficult to get something like that started. It's like, building a snowball. It's always most difficult to gain momentum in the beginning when you're just trying to take this thing that's not even in existence and just get it started. And then as you roll the snowball more and more, it begins to pick up more with each roll, and it becomes, in a way, simpler to grow it. So similarly, I think that's hopefully what's happening. I said at that point, too, that things were gradually getting worse in Kittanning, and when we started Summer Observe, our goal was to, take that wave of things that were getting worse and that we would just be stopping it, that we were going to just halt the kind of decline. And then I proclaimed a couple years ago in a video, I said, now is the time for us to begin to push back and to begin to make the direction change, to start to improve instead of to see things continually getting worse. And so I really believe that over the last couple years, we've seen that shift happen. And now what I'm hoping is happening is that snowball effect is beginning to go. So that house maybe that was there for a long time, that was abandoned for 10 years, now that house is finally cleaned up and the neighbor says, well, now it finally makes sense for me to invest. Or the houses begin to improve on the street and the person that was considering moving now says, well, I think I'd rather just stay. And so instead of using that money to buy another house, now they're using that money to fix up their house. I don't know exactly what it is. Like I said, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but that's my hope. My hope is that the reason Kittanning is improving is that it's genuinely getting better and more people are getting on board. That's what I want to see. I want to see us live in a hopeful city. I want to see us in a city full of people that are optimistic about the future. I know that I am, just based on the data from last year and based off of what I'm seeing happening right now. I am extraordinarily optimistic, although you probably already knew that. My hope is that you're optimistic too. So either way, no matter what happens, I'm committed to staying here and documenting this process for at least the next several years. And I hope that you're joining me in cheering for the future of Kittanning. I'm looking forward to the day when I will stand with each and every one of you hand in hand, proclaiming victory over the problems that we face as a city. And we will be able to say, Kittanning has been reborn, and we have a claim to fame as the greatest city in the world. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I would say this is a wonderful time to do that. There are really great things coming, and I can't wait to participate in it and to watch it all unfold with you. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you in advance for connecting. God bless you. See you in the next one.